Good morning, friends, followers, channel members. Are you all ready for a nice morning relaxing flight from Basel to Amsterdam? If you are, you're on the wrong plane, because there's going to be nothing relaxing about this stream. I'm still bluffing my way through learning the Boeing, and it's been so long as well. We did quite a few Boeing streams when it first came out, but we've of course been in the Phoenix for the last month or so, something like that. So we're getting out of the A320 today, and I thought, yeah, we could do the PMDG today. Let's see what I can remember. Probably a lot less than I have forgotten. So if you guys are here and you're a little bit more proficient than me with the Boeing, hardly difficult to do, then do make sure you stick around to help me try and get our virtual passengers safely from Basel in France to Amsterdam. I'm just looking, I wonder if the weather is actually this good in Basel. I'm hoping that it is, and that we've not got the live weather bug as I saw a couple of days ago. Fingers crossed. It is actually nice and sunny. We'll go ahead and get a meta in a little bit as well. Just Willie, you're using this going forward as your non-streaming account. Downgrade the mod and the other one you'll confirm via Discord. Fair enough, Willie. That's fine. Right, we'll get that sorted for you. So welcome on board, guys. We've got Mark playing gaming, Danny, David, Lazarus, and just Willie, of course. Matt P liking these early streams. It's a nice way to get the day started, isn't it? Sadly, I can't always do that. We normally have a Tuesday night stream. Sadly, I'm not sure that's going to be available this evening. So I thought, let's try and sneak in a morning one in instead. Right. I'm going to get on board and see if I can set this aircraft up. Of course, at the moment, whenever I'm flying the PMDG, I am not proficient enough on this aircraft to know all of the systems, how to handle absolutely everything. So we are not on VATSIM, so there's no pressure of that kind. I would like to get myself to the PMDG on VATSIM at some point, but for now, we're just we're actually flying around with live traffic, so live traffic is turned on. They'll probably get in our way at some point. But yeah, other than that, it's you, me, and a nice cup of tea to get us through the morning flight. Let's get on board, shall we? The operational flight plan is in the chat if you're watching on YouTube. I'll just go ahead. I have pinned that, haven't I? Yes, I have. So that is available for anyone that wants to go ahead and check that out. So, have we got any clouds at all? Do you know what? I don't even know how to get the meta in this thing. So if anyone does have the meta for Basel, then do let me know. Just will it easy if I fly the 737s? Yes, they did. Right in the early days. Easyjet was launched with 737s. They also had 737-700s as well, Willie. So this is why we're calling these retro ops. Okay, so we're going to get the battery on. I even have to remember where they where these are. So right, here's the battery. Let's turn that on. The emergency exit lights, we need to arm those, he says, wondering where on earth they could be. Oh, here we go. So let's arm the emergency exit lights. Right, the ground power unit is apparently available, so we'll go ahead and turn that on. There we go. Now we need to go to the IRS and set those to nav. I need to... how do we do this? This is somewhere right above my my overhead up here, isn't it? Somewhere. Where are they? No, further back. Boeing pilots must get RMAC. So set that to nav, and set that to nav as well. Danny and Mark both confirming that it is indeed cav okay. Maybe this is correct then. Paul Newman, good evening to you. Hope you are well. Right, so let's get back in the main seat. Alright, so Iris is nav, and I need to put the iris display setting to heading set. Oh, hang on, I need to get back up there. Oh, back out the seat. Where is it? We need to set this to... There we go. Okay, now we're going to come down and we'll just, again, jump back in the seat and check my parking brake is set on. I think the parking brake's on. Yeah, that means on, right? Is that on? I need a little e-cam telling me my parking brake is on. That is surely on. I'm a little bit concerned that my thrust levers don't appear to be. Oh yes, they are. They are working. A little buzz. Right, so parking brake is on. We'll get the navigation lights or position lights turned on. So is that to on? Yeah, because that's off, and that's on. Or do we want them to steady? We want them to steady, don't we? Yes. Flaps up on the overhead need to be up. Now, where would this be? So that's up here, isn't it? We'll start working these down. So flaps are up. Your dampener needs to be on. Seatbelt signs are currently on as well. Although we've not loaded our fuel yet, so we'll leave those off for the time being. So I'm just trying to come down and follow the flows, but I'm not proficient with the flows at the moment, so I'm still just working through a basic checklist. So I may be a little bit all over the place, but basically, let's just jump ahead, find our seatbelt signs. So leave those off for the time being. Right, the window heat, where would that be? Is that over at the far side? Let's see. Do you know what? Hang on, let me have a look. Which is our overhead view? And then, right, oh, that's much better. I can see what we're doing now. So, window heat needs to be on. Hydraulic pumps A and B need to be on. Paul, I must be excited about the upcoming AT10. Yeah, I think that's really, really good news. We were talking about this quite a lot actually yesterday on the stream. They don't need to be on yet, do they? We can leave those off, I think, because they're the electric ones. So A and B need to be on. Coming down. Air temperature in the passenger cabin. Oh, this feels like such a foreign cockpit after spending so much time in the Phoenix. So again, just working out where everything is for this. So the air temperature in the passenger cabin. Where is this? Oh, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. APU bleed can come on. I've not even started the APU there yet, I don't think. Set our cruising altitude. What is our cruising altitude today? We're planning on a flight level of 360. Let's go ahead and set that. And our landing elevation at Amsterdam, we'll leave it 0. It's Amsterdam, something like -12 or something daft like that, isn't it? So that's set. Right, we need the aft fuel pump turned on. That's for the GPU. Now we can get the GPU started. So in order to do that, that's down here, isn't it? So we need to put that on and then hold that. That should start our GPU. So, Willie, the top leads need to be on, but you need to switch them off for the engine start. Oh, Willie, I've not got that far yet. I'm just waiting to see if the APU starts up. Criminal video, why the 737? Just to mix things up a bit. We've had nearly a month now in the Phoenix, so it was time to do a retro flight, I think. Right, so there we go. That is good. APU start. So with that, the ground power unit can now come off, but we also want to turn the APU generator bus to on. So Is it that one that comes? That one that comes on? So the ground power can come off. That's right. There is the. Oh, hang on. That's the generator. That won't work. There we go. That's what I wanted. Now we can turn ground power off because we're being powered by the APU. Alright, I think I'm pretty much set up now for the point where we can start looking at setting up the box. So we'll leave everything up there. I don't think I've missed anything too much. Let's get ourselves set here. Right, passengers. Let's have a look at passengers. So we want, how much fuel do we want? Let me see. Fuel for today's flight. Plug fuel is 5 tons. Well, the amount of messing around that I might need to do. Let's put 6 tons in. So that's 6,000. And we can also enter our zero fuel weight today, which is, according to our operational flight plan, 48.7. So we have done that. We'll go and set our zero fuel weight. Oh, can we not set that there? Right, hang on then. Let me clear the scratch pad out there. Right, so we've popped our fuel in. And then we need to go to payload. Ah, here's where we set it. So our payload is 48.7. That's a zero fuel weight. That's quite low, isn't it? Not many people putting their lives in my hands here in the 737. So we've set the zero fuel weight. That's done. Okay, let's come back over here. And we're going to do our pause in it. And we want to pop our airport in. Where are we? We're at Basel, which is Lima Fox Bravo Sierra. And we're at... which gate number? We're at gate number 29. Gate number 29 is not in the database. Really? What about 29 Alpha? That's not in the database either. Okay. Well, let's use our last position then instead. So that would be this one. And that's set. Iris position and original disagree. Oh, there's a new message for me. Not seen that before. How can we... oh, right, that was our last position. We need the airport position, don't we? Right, let's change that. Is this any better? Why can't we copy that down from there? We should be able to. Can we not just type in the position of the gate that we're at? Can we not do that? So, for instance, I would have thought I should be able to grab this here and enter that in. Okay. Well, if not, then we'll go to the next page, and these positions just here. Do we can we grab that? Go back to the previous page and set that. We're still getting IRS position and origin disagree, so that's not right. Our last position and our actual airport. Do you know what? I'm going to try entering that. Kevin, this is not the Schiphol chart, mate. This is most definitely the Basel chart. I know what Basel looks like, and I know what Schiphol looks like. they're definitely different. Right, let me see if I can enter this in. Where is it? We're at stand 29, so let me try and enter this in and see what it says instead if I do it manually. So we have got, do we have to type in the north bit as well? So we've got north 47 and then 36 0. This may be the entirely the wrong format, by the way. And then we've got east 007 east 007 31.6. Will that allow us to enter that in? We can enter it in, but once again it disagrees. I can't put the gate in. That's the issue. Can we try another gate position? Let's try gate 20. Let's try gate 30. See if that works instead. Not in the database. So, how strange is that? Oh, we've got the wrong airport showing, that's why. Oh, do you know what? I've got the last two characters messed around. Let's try again. Lima Fox, Sierra Bravo. Right. That is the correct one. Let's put the correct gate in now, which is 29. See, I told you I needed you guys to help me this morning. There we go. Right, so now we've got the correct coordinates for that. Presumably, it is now happy. Yeah, Paul. Boeing. Boeing. Well, to be fair, no, that was pilot error. I put the wrong airport reference in. I put in Bravo Sierra instead of Sierra Bravo. Alright. Now that's done, let me just go back to my payload. So that's all done, and presumably this is now all loaded in. So if that's done, we've got our ground services. We can release that in a little while, but I'm presuming that we should be able to start refueling. In fact, we can't start refueling because I've already entered it in. What I should have done is I should have entered everything on this page and then requested the fuel truck, etc. That would have got all done. I think we've now set the payload, and I think all the payload is now on board. So effectively, the passengers are all boarded, aren't they? They're all done. Right, we'll release the GP. We could release the GPU in a bit. I'll leave that there for the time being. So let's go to our route then. So let's get this right. Our origin is in fact Lima Fox Sierra Bravo. Why is that invalid? Why is that invalid? Have we typed that in twice? No? Oh, did I type in Lima Fox Sierra Bravo twice? Oh, right, hang on. Lima Fox Sierra Bravo. There we go. Departing runway 15, I think it is this morning. Not using a company route, and Amsterdam, our destination. Flight number. So we can't do a flight plan request or anything like that. Okay, that's set. We'll now go to our departure and arrival. So we are on the Torpa 7 Tango. I need more than coffee this morning. Torpa 7 Tango, runway 15, and then we can activate that, execute, and let's put in the actual route. So from here then this takes us to Torpa, wrong side. Oh, Torpa's already in. So from Torpa we go and take the uniform mic 624. You can do some brief integration with this, but I've just not got that far with it. Then to Lima, uniform Lima. I bet you guys can set this up in like 10 minutes, right? Uniform Tango 60. Then give all. From give all uniform November 853. Then to Iberia, from Iberia direct to Bub, and then from the Bub waypoint we go and take the Yankee 28 airway. That takes us to Helen. Okay, so we've entered the route, and then if we go, that takes us to Helen. We go to departure and arrivals. We're going to be arriving ILS 06. That's on the Helen 2 Alpha. Okay, let's execute that, and I think we've got a discontinuity at that point as well. That's our missed approach. Okay, there is our route shown just here. Not quite sure what. We'll have a look at that discontinuity in flight. You guys can help us work through that. Right, so let's go and enter in the general details here. So our zero fuel weight is 48.7. Our final reserves are, with the extra fuel on board, it's about 6. We've got about 1.9. We've got about 2 ton final reserves according to that. So let's pop in that. We've got a cost index today of 29. That's very high for Easyjet. So with the cost index done, the cruise altitude is going to be flight level 360. Do we not need to type in FL? No, we don't. And the cruise wind, just grab this. Cruise wind is going to be, just scrolling through my flight plan here, flight level 360, our cruise wind is going to be 288 at 31. There we go. Transition altitude here in Basel is 5,000 feet, I think. I'm just going to double check that. Oh no, it's not. It's 7,000 feet. Let's update that. Right, I think that page is all set. And now let's go to let's just execute that and save all of that. We'll go now to our N1 limit. Now, this is where my knowledge on Boeing derated thruster or anything like that is completely way off course. I have absolutely no idea what we're doing here. So, I'm going to set... let's set the N1 limit to... We'll just use full power. You know, we'll just use... full power, it's better. That's already selected, so happy with that. Takeoff then, we'll use 5 degrees of flaps. We've got our V speeds. Can we copy those in? There we go. There's our takeoff weight selected as well. I'm just going to cross-reference that with the operational flight plan. Takeoff weight says 53.5. I've got 54.8. Well, I'm taking a little bit of extra fuel. So that's now all done. Let's just go to our next page here and fill out this. So the runway wind, this is where I need that ACARS that you guys posted in a little bit earlier on. So what was the ACARS? I'm now scrolling through the chat trying to find that. Did I not enter the CFG on that last page? Oh right, the CFG. What will our CFG be? That is computed for us automatically, isn't it? There we go. Thank you. Good spot. Right, wind for the departure. Let's see if I can find that. You guys were kind enough to post that in the chat a little bit earlier on. So wind is 360 at 4. There we go. I'm not going to bother in putting a runway slope or anything in like that. Now, funnily enough, accelerating height and reduction. I have no idea if... oh, takeoff speeds have been deleted. That's because we've just done the wind, isn't it? So, let me go back a page. Put those back in. Right. There we go. Lucky 670 says too much thrust, we need to derate. Okay, this is where, as I said right at the start, my Boeing knowledge when it comes to derated thrust is completely off-piste. Give me an Airbus and we'll be fine. Right, where are we setting our takeoff anyway? I've come out of the page I wanted. There we go. Go back to our index. So it's on the performance page that we set this N1 limit. Choose 22. Okay, we'll choose 22 and we'll get the new speeds. There we go. CFG is set. We've selected the V speeds. Let me just check. Page 2 is filled out. I needed to check what the noise abatement rules are just here, so let me just find that out. So, looking at my trusty chart for Lima Fox Sierra Bravo. Oh, it is noise abatement 1. That's fine, so we can leave all those set to 1,000 feet. Alright, so now let me just go back and set the runway heading and stuff like that. So our runway heading for the departure is 152. Again, this is something you don't have to worry about in the Airbus. Our initial climb on the departure today is up to, looking at the chart, let's see, it's our initial climb. We haven't, do we have one? 7,000 feet. And we'll set V2 on the speed, which was 129. Now, I do know that some pilots give V2 plus sort of 10 or 20. I'm actually going to go with that. I know we're very light today, so let me go with 149 instead. There we are. Hitman Netherlands, yeah, the frame rates are really, really good with the PMDG. Brian, it's fun learning new airlines, though. You learnt the Airbus after being Boeing forever. Yeah, well, don't watch this to learn how to fly the Boeing, will you? So, that's all set. Now then, transponder. We're not on VATSIM, so we don't need to set the correct transponder, but we'll set that to, is it TA only? Right, so now we need to go to our, is it the descent page? Then go to forecast and set the arrival transition level. That, I think, is 3,000 feet in Amsterdam, if memory serves correctly. 3,000 feet. There we go. Okay, so we also, whilst I'm up here on the MCP, we want to get the flight directors on both sides. And at this point, I think we can turn LNAV on as well. There we go. Always concerns me, you press it, it doesn't immediately light up. Right, let's go over here and we can remove all our ground services. Is there a one button to do this, or do we have to do everything all in one go? Okay, so let's release the ground power unit. We can remove the chocks. I think we can... Oh, okay, that's fine. They're all gone anyway. Have we got the door closed? Oh yeah, there we go. Nicely done. So ground services are now removed. Let's look at getting our aircraft ready to actually push back. So we want the fuel pumps on. Do we need the center one on? No. So we just need the fuel pumps there on, don't we? Center pumps not required. I'm sure you guys will tell me if that's not right. So we've only got fuel in the left and the right tanks. No center tanks. Anti-collision light can come on. We could also use a little bit of self-loading cargo as well if we want some passenger ambience. Jonathan, removing the chocks removes all ground services. That is a good time saver, to be fair.
Cabin crew, we're all happy with how things are up here, so now open the doors and start letting our passengers on board. Thank you.
So, auto brake is set to reject a takeoff. We can arm the auto throttle as well. And then we're nearly ready to go. So let me just see, I need to just change one of these displays on here, and I can't remember how we do that. That's it. I can now see the flight controls, and I want to be able to see N2. There we are. Okay, I think we're happy with where everything is there. We can start the pushback, and we can look at starting engine 2. Engine 2 first as well. Another Boeingism. Right, let me get the tug connected, then we can get out of here. So, have we actually got a tug today? Have we got a tug? That's concerning. That's using the wrong runway. That's live traffic for you. Right, tug is connected. We've just not got an actual virtual tug shown just there. Right, so engine number 2 can go to ground. And then we can start engine 2. When this gets to 25%, we'll add fuel. There it is. Right, let's start the pushback. So release our parking brakes. Back we go. Flatterer, do we need all the fuel pumps on? Because we haven't got any fuel in the centre tanks. We've only got fuel in the left and the right tank. So, do we need those other pumps on? I'm happy to turn them on. I just didn't think that they were actually required if you hadn't got any fuel in them, but they're on now. Also need to keep an eye on this pushback, as we're doing it manually, of course. Right, engine number 2 is started. Let's do engine number 1. Again, 25%, and then we'll add the fuel. Oh, Ronald, you're right. They're not the centre ones. Sorry, they're the centre ones, aren't they? Right, okay. Thank you. Can you imagine me doing this last thing in an evening stream when I'm actually tired? We'd never get out of here. Let's have that fuel. Hitman on Twitch says Airbus is just so much easier with everything. Well, the problem you've got as well is, remember, as much as people love Boeing, it's an archaic, outdated aircraft, systems-wise. Matt says centre tanks off if it's empty unless you want to blow up. How's engine number 2 doing? Engine number 2 is fine. Engine number 1 is now fine. Let me finish this pushback and then I will continue doing with continue setting the aircraft up. Okay, I'm happy for our pushback to finish there. Right, set the parking brakes, release the tug. As I said, we didn't actually have one this morning. Right, I need to go back to the overhead to set a few things now. So, the left and right packs need to be set to auto. Probe heat needs to come on. Now where's that? That's at the top, isn't it? Oh, the probe heat was already on. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Anti-ice as required. Anti-ice is not required today. Isolation valve also needs to be set to auto. APU bleed can come off, which is found where? APU bleed is there. That can come off. APU can now come off. Oh, have I just shut my aircraft down? I didn't turn the generators on. Let's I turned off the APU without having the generators turned on. How did I miss that? Okay, I think we're all right. Engine start switch is set to continuous. The window heat needs to come on as well, doesn't it? That's not automatic like it is in the Airbus. I'll pop that on. Right, let's set the flaps 5 degrees. Do you reckon the passengers will have noticed everything just went really, really dark? I mean, we're flying in the daytime anyway. Right, there we go. That's set 5 degrees. Right, we need to manually go ahead now, set the trim. Where do we find that? That's the init ref. Go to the index and the takeoff page. The trim is 5.32. Okay, that's fine. Where on earth is that then set? Or are we just eyeballing this? 5.32. There we go. On the spoilers, get the taxi light on. Do we have a taxi light? Oh, that's over here. See, even Airbus, they keep the lights together. Matt, it's definitely better to learn the 737 first. Make sure you appreciate all the stuff the A320 does for you. Oh, mate, I already absolutely appreciate all the stuff Airbus does for us. Okay. So I think... Let's just reset the fuel flow. Right, I think we're good. Guys, can you see anything on the overhead that I have missed? Let me just go down from top to bottom. Jonathan says ground spoilers are not armed for takeoff. We'll get a takeoff config warning for that. I will go ahead and check that in a second then. Your dampener should be on. Why isn't that on? I thought we'd turned that on earlier. So we've done the yaw dampener, hydraulic pumps. Where's the hydraulic pumps? That sounds serious. Working my way down, trying to find the hydraulics. Ah, here we go. Thank you. See, I asked where were the hydraulics pumps. You guys go next to the packs. You assume I know where the packs are. I'm literally just looking for things that that might not be in the correct place. So this morning stream is all about entertainment more than it is serious flying. Okay, I think that's all right. Now, what were we saying about the spoilers? They're not armed for takeoff. Is that right? How do we arm the spoilers then for takeoff? Do we... Is that... I obviously don't want to extend them. So how do we arm those for takeoff? Is that not armed for takeoff? Guess we'll find out if we... Oh, we don't arm the spoilers for takeoff. Oh, Boeing. Right, spoilers are now not armed for takeoff. Should we get to the runway? Let's see if we can upset any AI aircraft arriving on the wrong runway. Alright, let's taxi. I know when the Phoenix came out, a lot of people said that people found that the PMDG was far, far better than the Phoenix for frame rates. Jonathan, did the MCP reset when we did the generators? Oh, maybe. Yes, you're right. So our initial climb is 7,000 and our IAS, do you know what? I think it was 149. Set that to, which was V2 plus 20. The taxiing as well on the PMDG feels really nice and solid. Right, what else came off? Right, so we're taxiing now. Can we also arm VNAV at this point? I think. Gary, you've been having a lot of fun with the 737. Yeah, at the moment it's... Fun's probably not the word I'd use at the moment. I have to think so much. Howling Crazy said we can even arm the autopilot. What, really? You can turn the autopilot? Surely you can't turn autopilot on now, can you? That's definitely something Airbus wouldn't allow. Pop the terrain radar on. I'll pop T8RA on for the time being. Paul says, think you'll stick with Airbus. I am making this, remember, I am making this look so complicated just because I don't really know what I'm doing. So you have to remember that. I'm sure it's a lot easier to fly this when you know what you're doing. Is auto brake also not armed? Really? Are you sure? Well, there we go. I don't think losing power to the aircraft would have helped. If anything goes wrong, that's the moment it went wrong. Now, I am flying with live traffic in the sim as well, so just remember, we may see some aircraft arriving towards us. This is why I'm not flying on VATSIM though, guys. No VATSIM today. The runway heading for our departure, I think that might have remained 152. I will cross check that. Yeah, 152. So that's fine. Right, the fun bit's nearly here. Taking off, seeing if I can manipulate the autopilot controls to do my bidding. Now, speed is set to 149, heading is set 152. Nick, good morning! How the devil are you, Nick? You've missed all the fun. So far, absolutely nothing has gone wrong. Bum 4LP and the 737, you can check takeoff config by cranking the throttle for a second. Yeah, well, obviously in the Airbus we have a button, the takeoff config button. Do you know what? I'm not sure if my seatbelt signs are on. I'm going to check those before we go anywhere. Right, let me just have a quick check. So seatbelt signs, which are where? Ah, here you go. Right, seatbelt signs are on. Alright, let's get all our lights on and line up. Yeah, well, Ronald, that was how I was going to check my seatbelt signs are on. If I braked hard without looking up, if I heard lots of thuds and people going, ugh, then I knew they weren't on. Okay, lights are on. We'll put the logo lights on as well. Why not? We don't need wing lights. We'll put wheel well lights on. Okay, let's line up. Danny says, stop talking about we're having an Airbus. You're in a Boeing now. I think it's fair to compare so people know what they're letting themselves in for. This is such a great aircraft, but I don't know how to fly it. Let's see if we can get airborne. We've got terrain as well around this airport. Right. Okay. So. Are we set? Are we ready? I'm turning. Do you know what? I'm turning the terrain radar off. I can look out the window and see it. I want to be able to see clearly these lines. Right. Do we not have the strobe lights on? Why aren't the strobe lights on? Oh, hang on. There's 3 positions for that, isn't there? There we go. And Mark, did I do a takeoff config check? No. Right. At the moment, I'm holding the brake, so let me just. There we go. No TO problems there. I think we're okay. Right, so we're going to set engines to is about 40% N1, and then we'll hit our power button. Okay, so 40% N1. Here we go, guys. Hold on to your hats. Close enough. All looks good. Let's see if we can get airborne. FS Realistic is also running as well. So gears coming up. I'm just following flight directions for the moment, and very quickly, autopilot 1 is now engaged. Hands off the stick. Auto brake can come off. We can now start to bring some flaps up. And then I need to stow the gear as well. I am aware of that. I've forgotten how we do this. We have to kind of drag it down, don't we? And then put it back up. Let me concentrate on the departure, and then I'll sort that out in a second. Right, so the aircraft is now clean. No ATC around. Let's go ahead and set a higher cruising altitude. We'll go ahead and, for the moment, we'll just set flight level 200. Yeah, diffuse. I need to pull them down and put them back up again. So, flight level 200 is set. This seems like a very bumpy takeoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This
Right, let's
includes
sort out that
cigarettes.
gear. So I'm going to have to put that down and then pop that up manually, aren't I? There we go. That's just because I'm using the Airbus pack to sort that out. 10,000 feet. Let's get the lights off. And now we'll set standard pressure. Oh, hang on. How are we setting standard pressure? Is that... oh, that's minimums. Push for standard. I'm trying to push. I'm bouncing up and down. There we go. Standard pressure. Why is the gear not up? This is the problem using the Airbus controls when trying to fly the Boeing. So, in order to get that down, I think we need to put it down, drag it up again, and then, once they've retracted, then we can set it to off. There we go. Right, I think we're good. Okay, we're airborne. We're on our way. Can I have a cup of tea yet? Right then, guys. Thanks so much for the help getting airborne. Unable 250 knots at river. We don't need 250 knots at river. We don't care. Risky, that was the okie dokie of gear retractions. Ronald says check strobes and navs like. Let's have a look. Strobes are set to on, anti-collision lights are set to on, wing lights are off. Remember, that is off. Oh, and that is on. I'm bouncing around all over the blooming place. Right, that is 1,000 feet warning away. Well, let's go to our cruising altitude, which today is flight level 360. My word, this thing climbs fast. Right, flight level 360, and we can do, is it alt intervention that gets us there? So we're using N1, we're on LNAV, VNAV speed. Is middle off? Really? Is there... oh, okay. Oh, come on, Boeing, label it properly. Give me an on label. How difficult can it be? Where's my Airbus? Chris VATSIM maps shows no flights today. Yeah, there's an absolutely good reason for that. Yeah, we can put the starter stat off as well now, can't we, now that we're happily airborne? Well, I wouldn't say happily. We're airborne. Is this entertaining though, guys? Are you happy? we're not doing real ops. This is completely different. Right, can I just sit and relax now? No, I can't, because I'm flying a blooming Boeing. I can't relax. I have to do things like matching up the heading with the actual heading that we're flying. Oh, is VATSIM actually down? The real VATSIM? As in, the VATSIM network is down? Seriously? Oh, wow. Oh, in that case, I'm really glad I'm flying the 737 then today. That has worked out really nicely. I couldn't have planned to do this flight at a better time. You do get nice views out of the wings here, I must admit. I'll be honest with you, I think I prefer the textures of the Phoenix for the wings. They're a lot more oil stained and stuff like that. Richard, I'm not on multiplayer, I'm on nothing. I'm in a world of my own. We've got live traffic on and that's about it. Yeah, Ronald, I think Danny said that the same. On live traffic, Schiphol is just a complete mess. So turn off TARA. Oh, I'm certain we'll probably fly through a few aircraft. I'm yet to see a cloud, and that concerns me as well, because it makes me think that live weather isn't working. Boeing pilots must never ever get bored. FS Realistic is certainly adding something to this, isn't it? You can see it's bobbing up and down all over the place. Brian says if you press the traffic one on the EFIS will get range rings. So you will. Candlebox on Twitch, thank you so much for the follow. Come on, let's fly. From this angle, you can see what you guys are talking about with regards to the wing flex. It does look a little bouncy, doesn't it? Bouncy, bouncy. Oh, well, I hope the VATSIM network gets restored quickly. What an amazing thing that network is. Chris says, world strike on VATSIM. No. They're not all French, are they? Right, so I'm going to get up to cruising altitude and then I've got things to do. I need to set things like manually. I need to go in and set the ILS frequency for our approach. We need to do the approach ref page. We need to set the course on the FCU. I'm just going through the notes that I've got here. We need to set our VAP speed by working out however heavy we are going to be and all that stuff. So the flight time is about an hour. Paul, will I be getting the 737-600? Let me master one. I will never master this. No. I don't have the time to master this. That is the main issue. That was a question so many people asked when the PMDG first came out. They all said, you know, will you get the 737-700? And I said, well, I never said never, but I did strongly say that I would never fly sort of real ops kinds of flights like we do in the Airbus, just because I just don't have the time to actually go ahead and learn this thing correctly. Ronald says this is good prep for the A310. Well, you know, the A310 obviously is an Airbus, so there is going to be some Airbus logic behind it. Do you know what? I don't know the A310 flight deck, but I'm going to bet good money that I reckon the A310 says on and off for the lights. Matt asked, you were flying A320, 77, the Mad Dog all at the same time, and that was a mistake. I can imagine, yeah. Right, we're at cruising altitude. That's good. I've just hit cruising altitude, and First Officer George is barking, so I will be back in a second, guys. Ah, right, back with you. So what we're looking at, FNC speed, LNAV, VNAV path. How far away is our top of descent then? Oh, it's not far, is it? We better crack on. Do you know, even the CRJ, from what I remember, all you had to do was push the heading bug and it aligned it with your current track. So, we need to set our ILS frequency, don't we? Down here. What is the ILS frequency for runway 06 at Schiphol? It is 110.55. Oh, that's wrong. There we go. 11055. 11055. So we've set ILS frequencies on nav 1 and 2. Right, we'll go on ahead and do this in a second. What's the course for our inbound track? Our inbound track is 056. Let's go ahead and set that now. There we go. Right, so let's work out what our approach speed is going to be. So, weight for landing. What is our current weight? So our gross weight is Is the gross weight there shown on the approach ref our current weight, or is it the weight that it's calculating our VAP speeds at? Was the gross weight not shown anywhere on the ECAMs? Brian, do both sides on the course. Go on then.
Traffic.
There you go. Traffic getting in the way. Where is traffic? Oh, perhaps it's this one over here. Yeah, so what is our landing weight going to be? See, what I would normally do now is I would work out what fuel we have got, add it to our zero fuel weight, and then there's our landing weight. Or rather, what fuel I would expect to be landing with. So that would be found on our legs page. In the Boeing it would be. No, it doesn't tell me there. Danny, I'm going to self-vector myself in, so don't worry about that. I'm going to hit. I'm going to hit river, and then I'm just going to fly heading around 130. We'll pick up the the ILS. We do have a discontinuity. That is after river. So I think we're going to be using flaps 30 for our landing today. So our VAP speed would then be calculated at 127. Alright, I'll go with that. We have to manually set that as well up here, don't we, when we want it. So if I go into our legs page, scroll through that, we can we just copy that to put that there? That's the discontinuity cleared. So this is the speed restriction of 250 knots at river. That's shown just here. Down transition level is flight level 045. Don't know why we need to set transit. Again, I'm coming from an Airbus point of view. Because we're descending, you'd normally set the transition altitude, not the transition level.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase a selection of hot beverages, together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we could be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
So where is our top of descent? Let's go ahead and see if we can locate that somewhere on here. If I just clear the... oh no, not the data. Which one is it? Or can't we clear all the waypoints on there? Maybe we can't. Where would our top of descent be then? Colin asks, good morning, do I plan on flying the 320NX again in the future? Yeah, absolutely.
Traffic.
Oh, more traffic. Oh, he's 700 feet above us. That's not legal, but it's fine in the sim. So Danny, if you press cruise on the F8, you'll get your distance to top of descent. Oh, there we go. To top of descent. 137 miles to go. That is in around about 10, 15, 17 minutes time. What confuses me about the Boeing flight computer is you've got lots of different pages within pages. There's layers upon layers of them. It's just not... I don't find it as intuitive as the Airbus. Oh, Nick, good spot. There we go. Right, fuel at EHAM is 3.4. So... our zero fuel weight for the flight today was what? We were quite light, weren't we? 48.7. So if we add the, let's add a little bit of a buffer. Right, so our landing weight should be around 52.3. So if we go to the approach 52.3, we can go ahead and if we can we update this? I think can we update that, and it'll tell us what the VRF speed should be for landing. 52, and I've seen lots of people say you can do this or you can't do this, and I think maybe it's an airline stops kind of thing. So now, if we pop that in, there we go. And we're going to be using flaps 30 and that final approach speed of 126. There we go. What on earth is that? Now, in Microsoft Flight Simulator days, I'd seen stuff like that quite often. Never ever seen something. It's populated in now. That's strange. Paul says the next world update will be announced in the next few hours. That's exciting. Daniel says the easiest way to calculate your landing weight in the 737 is to take your current fuel, subtract it from your estimated fuel, then subtract the result from your gross weight in the approach ref. Daniel, can't you just take your zero fuel weight and add on your fuel, estimated fuel at destination? That sounds a lot less complicated. That's how I do a landing performance in the Airbus. Oh, now Matt S, you do make a good point. So on the Airbus McDo, the up and down arrows work in the opposite direction for what your brain's expecting, and it manhandled you through it. You get used to that, but I know exactly what you mean. Page down is not down, is it? I'm just on the lookout for my little arrow. I like my little arrow. Ah, well. We know where it is because it tells us in our progress page, I think. One day I might even get to grips with doing something like an RNAV approach or something daft like that here in the Boeing. Yeah, there's that top of descent, marked in green. And again, that's just another little thing that my brain, I see a green dot, and automatically, what do I think of? William says, good morning, how you doing? So I was flying out of Bristol yesterday, apologies, couldn't come and control. You were doing a Gatwick ground endorsement. Oh, fantastic. Hope it went well, William. Tommy, do I ever fly in the US? We do sometimes on some of the special streams, yes.
Traffic.
What we're going to crash into. That actually does look rather close. Today looks like what my son calls a no contrail day. There it is, look. There are days where spotting airplanes in the back garden are nice and easy because there's contrails everywhere, and then there are days where spotting them is hard. Ozzy, how old am I? Old enough to know better than to try and fly the Boeing. Danny says the world update. You think you're guessing it might be South America. You refuse to fly using meters if China's going to be in the world update. I saw this. I thought, do you know what? China, obviously great, massive area, yeah, and one that I'm sure flight simulators in the past has really lacked any sort of detail. But not that we do any politics of any kind on this channel. But what about getting the government? What about getting satellite data for areas like that? The Chinese are incredibly secretive around that kind of stuff. Paul, Canada would be amazing. Africa would also be well worth a shout, but surely they can't do all of Africa in one go, can they? I mean, that is just huge. Short Final, thanks for the follow. Absolutely no clouds again. I think though I saw just out of this window, yeah, look in the distance there, you can just see some clouds brewing. That is confirmation for me that live weather is indeed working. There's another aircraft out there as well, you can just see. I was saying, which do I prefer, 737 or the Phoenix? Oh, that's got to be the Phoenix. But remember, you're talking to a biased Airbus sim pilot. William, your bet is on Antarctica. Well, there is an airport in Antarctica, isn't there? It will be very interesting to see when that comes out. Because the next sim update has been pushed back, hasn't it? So what's coming next? Sim world update or world update? I can't remember. Danny, you're also guessing it would be a bit hard to get the data they need to make a world update for China. Yeah, it was just something I thought about. Daniel, to be fair, the PMDG has some issues. You've seen people take off with reverse. Really? Spotting thoughts on flying the PMDG with the Airbus. It does a job. It's not realistic, obviously, but it does a job. How do you think I'm flying this aircraft right now? William says, in your opinion, having a pushback sim update can only be a good thing. It suggests they're spending longer period on perfecting things like the weather radar. Well, the weather radar, they just need to open up, don't they, to third-party devs and let them deal with it. Norman, sadly I can't gift you things like Microsoft Flight Simulator. Although, we are slowly approaching 25,000 subs. Don't know how far away we are, but yeah, we are slowly approaching 25,000 subs. And when we do that, of course, we will have a very special day's live stream. Haven't decided what we're going to be doing for it yet, but already I'm excited to announce that we have got big partnerships already donating lots of items for giveaways. So we'll have vouchers, we'll have sceneries. I will even also have aircraft to give away as well. So do stay tuned for that. So our top of descent is coming up now at about 50 miles away. Once again, forgetting to do these Boeing basics. Right, I need to get in my head what we need to do when we're going to land here. So we're going to start a descent, initiate the descent probably about 5 miles away. We're going to head down, initially, going to head down to about flight level 70 at River. And Mark has gifted 5 Easyjet Simpilot channel memberships. Mark, thank you so much for that, mate. That is really appreciated. Very, very kind of you. So, Squiggly1, Stefan, Tom, and Sean and Dwyle, welcome to channel membership. Mark, you're a legend. Thank you so much for your continued support of the channel, Mark. Welcome to the new channel members. Of course, make sure if you're in our Discord, you get your Discord server linked up so you can benefit from the members lounge. Danny, you're learning here now how the airfoil profiles at school. The mean average chord pressure distribution, yeah, that's not stuff that the I think pilots think about too much. We just fly the planes. Let the engineers sort that lot out. Mona Lima, hello, hope you're well. So again, one of the other things I can't get here is the METAR for our arrival. So if anyone's able to provide that, that would be useful. Do you not need to put in the winds anywhere for landing? Nick, thank you, mate. 04030. Oh, it's very small anyway, isn't it? Is it in the descent tab? In the forecast page. Okay. So, let me try and work out from looking at this how we're doing it. So, temperature is going to be 18. Does that go in there? Or is it the QNH that goes in there? What is the QNH? 1023. So QNH is 1023. Why are we unable to get 250 knots at River? I'm not going to go and put every single one in. So do you need to pull the full thing in? So temperature is 18102.3. I was confused by the fact that it said ISA. So we're going to need some spoilers looking at that. Presumably, if you leave the ISA div blank, then it would just presume 15 degrees when you're at ground level. And then that drops with every 1,000 feet. 2 degrees, I think, with every 1,000 feet. Captain Rish, can I quickly show you how to put radials in? No, mate. Absolutely not. If I was in an Airbus, I'd show you anything you want, but not in this beast. So if we put the wind then at what, at ground level? So if we put the ground winds in, can we do that? Do we not put ground winds in? Invalid entry 0 0 0. Alright, we'll not put ground winds in then. Danny, can I show you an NDB as well? Just go back to your books, Danny. Stop asking things I don't know how to do. Right, so the plan is, we've not done an arrival brief, we're not doing real ops, but the plan is we're going to be 7,000, flight level 70 at river, 250 knots, we'll use speed brakes if needed. From river then, we've got a nice intercept. This is quite a nice approach, just straight in and picking up that, that ILS. Top of descent is coming up, so we're going to set this now to 7,000, flight level 70. Oh, I should have started winding this down sooner. This takes an age. Right, 7,000. There we go. And we'll use alt intervention. Okay, coming up 5 miles from top of descent. We'll set that. Right, down we go. So, VNAV path will be followed. Will this descend about 1,000 feet until we catch up with the profile? Captain Rich says if you press shift it then goes quicker. Does it? That's a good trick. So we'll set auto brake 2. And now we'll just monitor our descent. Right, there we go. We've got the couple of speed circles shown here. So the plan is that as we get to the second green circle, the decel circle, we'll set around, we need to make sure we're slowing down nicely, getting ourselves lined up with the localizer after leaving river.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck once again, you will be delighted to hear that we will shortly be starting our descent into our destination, at which point the cabin crew will start preparing for our arrival. If you could please make sure that all the aisles are clear, the cabin crew are able to make their way around the aircraft without any luggage in the aisles, that would be most appreciated. A reminder for our Easyjet Pilot members that free drinks are still available from the cabin crew until the seatbelt signs are turned on. Please note, however, that the toilets will shortly go out of use. Thank you.
This is definitely the kind of flight for a Tuesday morning, a Tuesday chill morning, isn't it? No real ops, bundling our way through in an unfamiliar airframe. Designed purely for entertainment and comedy value. Right, holding our profile nicely. Chris says auto brake 2 is less than auto brake low and air, but that's fine. Yeah, decent long runways at Amsterdam. More the second, those are the clouds I was looking for. Amina, you've just taught a friend who is not an aviation fan pilot in a shared cockpit in an A320. Very interesting process. Have to figure out how to sync everything up. You see, I believe that There's a video doing the round somewhere on YouTube that I saw quite a while ago, and it was something like, can a civilian land a commercial passenger plane? And it was in an Airbus. Do you know what? I've never actually seen the end, but I presume she did it. Why do I think that she did it? Because the Airbus is just intuitive. Now, I would like to have seen a similar, there may be a video, I've just not searched for it, but I would like to have seen a similar exercise in a Boeing aircraft, and then afterwards ask the civilian which is easier. I'd like to think I know the answer. This really is bouncing around quite a bit, isn't it? Look at that. Captain Irish, is there one? Oh, fantastic. More the seconds says, it would be the Airbus by a long shot. Alex, she did do it with auto land, but it would be interesting on Boeing. See, that's exactly what you would, if you were ever in that situation, you would just be instructed to go through and set up the auto land. Not something I've ever done here in the Boeing, I have to say. Aviation VATSIM apparently has been down this morning. That is correct. Min says Airbus would win hands down. There's no beating the simplicity of the Airbus. It's not plagued by decades of relatively easy type rating conversions. Paul also agreeing Airbus. Hitman on Twitch saying, I'm always imagining stuff like this when I fly in real life. A stewardess comes to the front and says, the pilots have passed out. Is there anyone who can fly a plane? Of course, we all put our hands up and say yes. Ronald, have you ever tried the Boeing 247D? Suddenly the 737 seems very easy. More the seconds to say, sim-wise, you prefer the Boeing. It keeps you more involved with the plane, stops you getting bored. I can understand that. Very easy to understand when people say it is indeed a lot more hands-on. Right, I need to be on the ground in about 30 minutes, so I hope this is doable. It's going to be a speedy taxi. I've got to be on the ground in about 30 minutes because I'm on child rearing duties today. Mark says, right, gotta go. Hope you get it down in one piece. I can't promise anything, Mark. Thank you so much, Mark. And thank you as well for the gifted memberships. Really kind of you, Mark. Thank you so much. Daniel says, the real pain is when the approach isn't coded, in which case you're on a heading select. I don't mind that too much. Again, particularly in the Airbus. Vectoring yourselves in, no problem. At least we've got nice views coming in today as well. Now, where's the constraints page? Data? Is that the equivalent? No. Stations. Weather, that doesn't work. Terrain, don't need that. Surely there's a way to display constraints here on the navigation display. Are they only shown on the legs page in the flight computer? Oh, that's a pain. Well, never mind. Yes, Daniel, I meant on the EFIS panel. Ronald, I did get rid of the discontinuity. Yeah, it was just the discontinuity between the start of the arrival and the start. Is it the data page that shows it? Well, that's strange, because I would have thought at River it would have had the speed restriction of 250 knots and the constraints as well, but it's not there. Can you enter them in manually? Oh, well, I'm not doing that. I've got the chart next to me. I just like seeing them on the navigation display. It's just a nice, handy little reminder. Now, are these barrows linked or not? Oh, right, okay, yeah, they are. So now I'd be looking to set, what was the QNH again, guys? Can I just get a QNH check? Was it 1023? Right, I've left the seatbelt signs on for the entire duration of the flight because I'm flying. – 1023. Thank you, Nick. Profile is still looking good. I also find the visibility of the 737 is nowhere near as good as the Airbus. It's very, I don't know. I mean, obviously you can raise your seat up, but I don't want to raise it that much. That's ridiculous. But yeah. Daniel says it's no matter. Ryanair have been flying with the seatbelt signs on through the most of COVID. Just say you're simulating that procedure. Is that just to stop people wandering around? Strange. Do they bring the toilet to the passengers then, or just provide them with a bucket? My way of setting up the thrust levers is absolutely not realistic at all, bearing in mind that they're just set up for Airbus. Considering that's what we fly normally. Right, do I have an estimated time of arrival? I'm concerned I'm going to be so late for what I need to do after the stream. Is that shown in the progress page? 20 past 12 local time. That would be good. That would be very good. Right, the platform altitude, which we'll get ourselves down to nice and low as well to Amsterdam, it's 2,000 feet. Little sim freeze just there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wind that down then. We'll select 2,000 feet. And set local pressure, which is 1023. This is so difficult when the cabin's bouncing around. There we go. 1023. Minimums are 190. Well, actually, if we can be exact here, so it's 189. That's minimum set. 10,000 feet, we'll get our lights on. Right, now let's start reducing our speed. So, right, I need to remember how to do this, and quickly. So, speed intervention, let's start slowing it down. Set 250 knots. And I like to control the speed myself when coming in. Same with Airbus. I know that the descent, managed descent will work nicely, hit speed constraints and things, but some speed constraints can have you slowing down really far out from the airport, and in real life, unless the airport is very, very busy, ATC don't want you slowing down that much, because you can cause more problems that way. Okay, so now I see the runway extended centerline is there. We're not flying the full procedure today, remember. So we can actually, do you know what? We can actually maintain this heading. We can maintain this heading, intercept the ILS. So we're going to go with, oh, I nearly selected heading straight away there. Again, that is why you need to align this up. So we can maintain the heading 040. Right, we're now in heading mode, and I'm just looking, we're still too far away to pick up the ILS identifier at the moment. Just Willie, we are still flying, yeah. Unfortunately, the tricky part comes next. Landing. So surely I should be able to see, start picking up my ILS information. And that would be shown on the approach page, wouldn't it? Willie, you're confusing me. It's not picked up yet. Definitely not. Right. Here comes all of this traffic that's just going to be completely in the way. So let's set that to TA only. This is getting very turbulent. The winds are light in Amsterdam today, so we shouldn't have too much of an issue. To be fair, let me put LNAV back on. That'll just get us back on course. Right, so let me control the rate of descent now. So I don't want VNAV on. Let's use, is it level change, which is effectively open descent? There is the ILS now. I want to actually use VS because we can see we're nicely below that. We don't need to descend any faster. That should do us quite nicely. So with that, let's start slowing down. We'll set 220 speed intervention. Start dropping 220, and we're going to set flaps 1. Now I can't remember what VFE is. So 250 knots for flaps 1 and flaps 2. So let's start getting those out. So flaps are starting to come down. We're still miles away. Let's reduce our rate of descent. So 14 miles out, and currently on this track, etc., we can pretty much arm the approach. So VOR lock and glide slope is armed. But very much like the Airbus, we need to make sure when we are going down the glide slope we've got enough drag out with the flaps. Tell you what I will do. Shall we run Sky Dolly as well? Shall we try and record the approach, the landing? That could be interesting. Okay, let's reduce our speed and continue to reduce that speed. Now, a real-life Boeing pilot taught me a little trick which I'm doing my best to remember now. Who thought when we just had a crash to desktop? We hadn't. That was me. And that was essentially you use odd speeds. So we'll now go ahead and set flaps 5. Right, let's arm both 1 and 2, just as you would the Airbus. How many miles out are we? 7 miles out. There's our runway. And let's start reducing to our final approach speed, which was 126. Whoops. Gear can now come down. We need to slow down, don't we? Let's get some more flaps out. Help with the drag. Just getting a little bit close to VFE there. We're chasing the glide slope, which is why we've got a little issue. I didn't get configured early enough, so that is why we're just struggling to hold that glide slope a little bit and slow down. Aeroplanes tend not to go down and slow down very well. Right, let's see if we can pull this landing off. Autopilot disconnected. How the heck do you cancel that? There we go. Auto thrust off as well.
Glide slow. 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 Glide slow.
Never have I had to concentrate so hard.
Glide slow. Glide slow.
Minimums.
of fly-by-wire technology.
50, 40,
A little low.
30, 20, 10.
And we're down. Get the reversers off. Vacate on our rapid exit taxiway.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your Easyjet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or Easyjet app.
Well, we made it down, guys, in one piece. Flex is currently retracting. And, just for a bit of fun, we'll check the replay out as well in a moment. Let me just park up here on the left. Yeah, the glide slope issue there, you could see that we obviously weren't aligned with the Pappies, but you will then also have noticed as we came in, we weren't actually that far out. Always remember that Pappies are unreliable the closer you get to them, so from sort of 200-300 feet we can probably ignore them. If, however, the Pappies are showing red and also your glide slope indicator here on your primary flight display is saying, you know, you're well below it, then yeah, perhaps you want to do something about that. Right, I'm going to park up and then we shall have a look at the landing. Let's see what the runway. We'll see what the landing looked like on the replay. This isn't a normal Easyjet stand, by the way. Oh, I think I'm just clipped my wing on one of the stairs. Is it that side? Oh. Okay, maybe Boeing aircraft shouldn't park here. I'm going to need a repair crew. I think I broke the winglet. Let's load that replay up quickly, shall we? Let's see if we can get that shown. So we'll stop the recording.